So this is your second Blu-ray video of the day, and this is, of course, coming from the Criterion collection. This is another one, and I'm a bit surprised that this one came out pretty quick, because I'm recording this on a Saturday here. And I purchased the order on Thursday, and I'm surprised it only took about, entirely 2 days to get here, and I'm so surprised it actually is here, because in this one, you would definitely get you have three, of course, previous releases, but you have 2 new releases that came out the end of this past month, so I am pretty excited to see what is in here. If I'm count this right, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, all 5 of them are here, so I am pretty excited to show you what these 5 ones are, and they're on this way. Oh boy, yes they are. So, so the first one, going in the order, since they're all apparently in their backsides, in the packaging, but I don't blame anything, but the first one, I will give a little bit of a disclaimer here, that this movie doesn't mean I endorse this filmmaker, and you might know where I'm going the realms here. And this is Spy number 697 from 1979, or 1980 for the United States, from Roman Polanski, Tess. Now, of course, I know Roman Polanski is a very highly controversial filmmaker, because, of course, if he comes to the United States, he will be behind bars, and, of course, he's not doing that yet, but you know how he's trying to do. But, of course, he is still a current filmmaker in recent years, although he's gotten a lot of backlash. And, of course, obviously, everybody knows him as the director of not just this film, but also Rosemary's Baby, and the Oscar-winning movie, The Pianist. And, of course, this was also an Oscar-nominated movie, and actually also a winning movie as well. Oops. And the sticker deserves it anyway, because who wants his name on there? But, of course, this was originally released in 1979 in France, but it didn't get a U.S. release until the following year. And this was a Best Picture nominated movie. It was nominated for Best Picture, director for Roman Polanski, original score, but it did one of the 3 for art direction, cinematography, and costume design. So in this case, you do, of course, yeah, it's very interesting because I think when I purchased it originally, it said it was like a Blu-ray DVD pack, but I think that was just me. But yeah, so very interesting, because when I purchased this was in back order, and I'm surprised that when I purchased it in back order this past Thursday, I'm surprised I already have the Blu-ray here. So I actually, despite of how Polanski is a person, this was actually a really great movie here. This, man, it's kind of hard to kind of go improvising these reviews here, but I'm doing the best I can. But it's been a few, over last time I watched this before I bought this. But, well, oh boy, it's been a while, so I can't really describe it as much. But I think it's just because with Polanski's name is the reason why I don't want to review this. But I still have this in physical form, so I want to try to discuss it, but having Polanski's name in it is a big thing. And now, next up is actually a recent release on the Criterion Collection. This is Spy number 1070 from 1996 by Mike Leigh, Secrets and Lies. This is, of course, one of the newly released films on the collection. This is, of course, another Best Picture nominated film. And I was really, blown away by it. In the beginning, it wasn't really that subtle, but once these 2 characters that are in the front cover here, when they met, it really really blew my mind. With the performances done by, of course, Brendan Blethell, Marion Jean-Baptiste, and Timothy Spall. And both Marini, and Brendan did got lead acting nominations and did got in for original screenplay, director for Mike Leigh, and Best Picture. A very shocking, unexpected twist. And, Brendan Blethell's performance, you will probably, when you watch the film for the first time, it seems like she would be, a drunk person. If I'm correct, it's been a while since I have watched this movie. it doesn't really say, but it's basically like she's the long lost daughter to her in this movie. I know that might be a spoiler, but that's the main purpose of the movie. And it's like a big, massive family secret that she was pregnant when she was a bit young. But the birthday party scene, when they really exposed the entire thing, just really was really sad. But it, like, the truth needed to be spoken, and really is well done here. And then next up, we go into Spy Number 773 from 1980, from Bruce Beresford, Breaking Morant. Now, of course, Bruce Beresford is most notably for making films such as Tender Mercies. He's also Tender Mercies was his most notable one. He also did like I think it was Mr. Johnson, wasn't? That's also in the Criterion collection. Yeah, but I really wasn't a fan of Mr. Johnson. And of course, he did the infamous Driving Miss Daisy, which of course won Best Picture in 1989 without him getting in for director. And this is basically a court movie. It's basically about it's Australia versus the army versus the British Army. And it's like in World War One, and it's like taking place in South Africa, and it's actually based on the real life story of this case with Lieutenant Harry Morant, Lieutenant Peter Hancock, and Lieutenant George Ramsdale Wilton. It's also not just it's basically not on some real story here, but it's mainly adapted from the play of this film. And since a lot of the film is in that court, you can really see that element of the film turning into a play. It's just how the script really does it well. Like I said, it's kind of hard to get my thoughts. Excuse me. It kind of gets hard to get my thoughts here because it's been a few weeks since, almost a month since the last time I watched this, before I decided to buy this. But very interesting crime film. And next, probably the most excited one I'm here to talk about, and that is actually the Spy Number After Secrets and Lies that was also released in the same day. Spy Number 1071 from 1991 by Albert Brooks, Defending Your Life. And my, looks like my cover is a little bit loose, but, oh my gosh. I mean, I was I think out of all these movies here, this is the one I think I'm blown away with the most, because, in this video specifically, because... oh my gosh. So, this is basically, Albert Brooks' character, Daniel, died in a car accident, and of course was sent to, kind of like heaven, but it's mainly specifically a place called Judgment City, where all the dead would go after they die. And, they are then be testified in Judgment City, a court hearing if they deserve to go into up in the realms of heaven, or they would go back to where they last left up before they died. And it's also mainly because of a relationship between Brooks and Meryl Streep. And this is definitely one of Meryl Streep's performances that is really overlooked. And this is really well done. Brooks also wrote the script as well, and it's the performances from Brooks, Streep, Rip Torn, Lee Grant, wow. I mean, it's just really well done. It's just an amazing even the production design of Judgment City really is interesting, because of course they have many hotels where all the people who just died resides. There's a comedy place. There's also many restaurants. There was and they already even with all the restaurants and stuff like that, all the foods are already done. So already done for you. It's kind of fast food done right. I don't know why, but it's just you could just go to a restaurant and just get the food already, and you don't have to pay for it, because since it is of course a place where all the dead go first before they're testified. And it's just oh my gosh, the ending was really amazing, and the relationships between Daniel and Julia, who is Streep's character, oh my gosh, it's just really, and it was a movie that I did clap at the end. It's just like very interesting. Two movies from 1991 that I clapped at, the other one being The Prince of Tides, and this is definitely, I think, probably my favorite release in the Criterion collection so far that I've seen from 2021, and I can't really wait to revisit this again, but definitely a fantastic romantic movie. And last up in this list is actually Spy Number 738 from 1982 by Sidney Pollack, Tootsie. This is, of course, the Dustin Hoffman film where he plays a fictionalized female celebrity in disguise. Now, the thing is, for those older audience, if you're familiar in one episode of Family Guy, where Stewie Griffin plays as this, tries to go in this television studio to play, which, of course, they were all out-of-male actors. Oh, okay, the Blu-ray was a bit loose here, I don't know. All these male actors, and he wanted to he decided to disguise himself as a woman child actress, and then of course he falls in love with this child actress, but the most infamous scene why this is so similar, like how this movie was inspired for that Family Guy episode, is when Stewie revealed that he was a boy, and it's like this infamous scene where Michael, who plays which is Dustin Hoffman's character, who plays Dorothy, and just reveals that how like he's actually, like, if you know the scene where Stewie says "I'm a boy," and like that's the thing when he does at the end of the movie. So if you saw that episode, this is where the movie where that episode came from. It's from this movie specifically. Of course, it was a Best Picture nominated film, was nominated also for director for Sidney Pollack, actor for Dustin Hoffman, original screenplay, cinematography, film editing, sound, original song for It Might Be You, which that's the end credits song, and it was, great. And it did got a double supporting actress nomination for Terry Garr, and a win for Jessica Lange. A pretty young Jessica Lange as well, kind of like a young Laura Dern in, if you, like, man, like, a young Jessica Lange really looks so attractive, especially, like, kind of like in Blue Velvet, how Laura Dern was so attractive back then in the 80s, and that's what Jessica Lange kind of follows that up as well. So, that's basically it with all the 80s movie, well, kind of a mix of, like, late 70s, I would say, or like early 80s to like 90s. And of course, for what I do usually when I go through the Criterion collection, I usually start with the Oscar nominated ones, and then the next, and like usually depending on how many there are, and this was like the third and last round of this, because I've seen most of the other ones. And now the next step I'm going to go is the 80s movies that could have been potentially Oscar nominations. But there's also going to be one movie that will be also coming out this month in April that I will be getting. Which one is it? Well, you'll have to wait and see. So with that said, if you enjoyed this video, hit that subscribe button, comment down below if you've seen any of these movies. And with that being said, I hope you enjoyed this double Blu-ray day on both this and the G-Kids ones earlier this afternoon. And expand the collection continues. Expanding, I mean.